Then, Lariam, then Pension, Zuri, Sama, Nagarjuna, Shilayam, Imba, Yang, Shiva, Sarayam, Sama, Yam, then Shebatan, Nyenpa, Shumala, Gauchum.
Rinpoche says he's very happy to be able to be here again in the center of Pension Prince of Ling, to be here for the purpose of teaching the Dharma so that we can listen to the Dharma, which is an extraordinary opportunity for us. So all of those who are here, whom we know, or Rinpoche knows, all of those who are here for the very first time, Rinpoche is very happy to see all of you.
And then I go to Jabir Tengar Rinpoche, Sandola Shu. Then Shuzola Shuji Koro Kor, and Marayan Tenaya Jar, Yamdo, Saman Yamdon, Lalu Saman Yamdon,
And we ought to be particularly happy about having come together here, especially also because our great teacher, the Venerable Tengar Rinpoche, is here, and he's in very good condition, he's very well. So having come together here for the purpose of listening to the listening to the Dharma teachings which are being given is extraordinarily nice and good.
Sangye
Of all the virtue that we could possibly practice, either with our bodies, our speech, or our minds, the greatest virtue is certainly the virtue that can be committed or that can be performed by our minds. As it is said that all the deeds, whatever it is that we do, whatever is being done or performed with our minds is the most important, is that which leaves the strongest imprint. Therefore, we have lived our lives up to now. We have enjoyed all kinds of pleasures. We may be in the possession of all kinds of things. Nevertheless, all of this has not satisfied us. Therefore, we have come here because we had the idea at some time in our lives that there must be something else than simply that worldly life that we have been living up to now. Therefore, in order to learn that which goes beyond such a life, in order to learn that which we call the Dharma, we have come here to listen to teaching and instructions on this Dharma. This is a very virtuous decision, and we should then by all means do so. Because this is such a precious opportunity to come together here to learn the Dharma, to listen to instructions and so forth, Rinpoche is particularly happy to be able to share this opportunity with us. Simply listening to the Dharma in itself will not lead to liberation. Similarly, if we just reflect about that which we hear, think about it, that also will not lead to liberation in itself. We need to apply that which we listen to and reflect upon to make it our very own conviction. As it has been said in the famous aspiration for the understanding and realization of Mahamudra by the third Karmapa, Rangjung Dorje, may through listening, may we become free from the stain or the obscuration of not knowing. May through reflecting we become free of doubts. May we, through contemplating these, bring about conviction or insight, and may the radiance of these three types of wisdom as they appear by way of these three kinds of activities, may this, the radiance of such wisdom shine forth. May this enlighten us, may this shine forth. So in this way, whenever we listen to the Dharma, this is the first step by way of familiarizing ourselves with it. But then we need to reflect upon it, whether or not we truly understand these words. And once we have come to a certain conviction, a certain understanding, we will then proceed to put this into practice and make it our own very own experience. So these three kinds of intelligence, these three kinds of wisdom which are being brought forth by listening, contemplating, and putting into practice, by training ourselves into, this is what we need to do. So having resolved to bring about these three types of wisdom or understanding or intelligence, we may now proceed to listen to the instructions on the text by the incomparable Rinpoche or Gampopa, which is his famous JOOL ornament of liberation. So very likely there are several students here who have not yet who have not joined these teachings in previous years. Just to give a short explanation about what this text is about, this JOOL ornament of liberation by Gampopa, Rinpoche will give a short introduction. The main word within this title, JOOL ornament of liberation, is liberation. And when we talk about liberation, there are many different kinds of explanation what liberation or freedom, for that matter, could mean. Even if one were to look at all the various teachings which have been given by the Buddha has taught various approaches. There are various views about what freedom or liberation could mean. In the words of the incomparable Gampopa, looking at freedom, in this particular context, freedom means the having gone beyond all mistakes, all erroneous views and ideas, and having brought about all the basic qualities which are there.
초용의 다음에 봐 초탐지 동이 또 뭐 양을 제만 두 번인도 대라되는 토저 타투가 돼 토도면도 대라되는 타원 링링시에 샤스 나와나 타원 약속의 가르에서나 수지 정신시가 이 시행도 군전도 초탐지 미루와 민정 탄예정 또다 성기健康的 자화식이 요같이 하고 이나양 군주도 민정 탄예정당 또그 다정의 자화시 신도第一个 상신디 동니 캐런 탐제의 자화 정신 좀 맞추고 세배 전담백의 민수당 군주 능수기 때문에 로암면의 이 송준주가 때문에 근데 가서 순전 탐제기 전 남의 주통행기 근데 대과 친구가 뭐지 수지 정신 타고 보시는 뭐를 샤스 대다서 토와이나 대다 타와스나 인수
C'est particular.
집안 남네 수나 차 바람마다 좀 바람마다는 차들죠 차보다 재점시 수지 정신 세바 이 수지 정신 타도 세베 로초 된바 로초도 된바 로초 양타도 된바디 넘버 12 되라고 타로치
The great Indian master Nagarjuna, in his 60 verses of logical reasoning, has described the three types of people, the three types of individuals there are. He says ordinary individuals, ordinary people, or those of lowest capacity, they hang on or they cling to the reality of that which they perceive. They cling to the reality of forms and sights and so forth. Those of middling capacity are free of desire, and those of highest capacity have achieved freedom because they see phenomena and appearances as they truly are. Now, the first type of individual, of person, describes the ordinary being. The ordinary being as we, for the most part, are. We have been living our lives up to now, clinging onto all kinds of phenomena, experiences, all kinds of possessions and things and ideas and concepts and so forth. We truly hold them to be real. We truly hold them to have a substance, to have an entity, an existence to themselves. We have never once actually endeavored to examine these things, to analyze all of that which we hold to be so real, which we hold to be so truly existent, as to whether or not there truly is any inherent existence or not. We simply take things as a given, we simply accept them as they are, and we believe them to be truly existent. This means that wanting all kinds of things, wanting all kinds of possessions, we then do all kinds of things in order to get into the possession of these, and we undergo all kinds of suffering, strife and fighting and so forth in order to protect that which we have. The second capacity describes, the second category of beings describes these which are commonly known as Shravakas or Pratyekabuddhas. Those are free of any desire for the things of the world, for the possessions, the wealth of the world and so forth, because they don't want to be immersed in the cycle of suffering in any way whatsoever anymore. So they have made a certain effort to see, to understand the true nature of all of these phenomena and appearances. However, they have not yet made the final step of truly examining to the very end. They have achieved a certain state which is free of certain sufferings. They have gone beyond all kinds of desires for these things and so forth, and they simply let it be at that being satisfied with the peace of mind, the peaceful resting that they have achieved. And then there is the third kind, the so-called highest kind of individual with the highest capacity, who truly endeavor to examine phenomena and appearances as they really are, who truly look to the core of things, who really try to see and understand how these things truly are. And in doing so, analyzing in this way, examining in this way, they truly come to the insight and experience that which we hold so which we hold so dear because we attach reality and true existence to phenomena and appearances, is truly empty of any such existence, truly empty of any substance, does not have any inherent self-nature to itself at all in any which way. However, having understood, having come to the realization of that being so, such individuals also see the appearing aspect of all such phenomena and appearances. Even though these phenomena and appearances are truly empty, free of any substance, free of any inherent self-nature, yet they do clearly appear. Nevertheless, having understood this, having come to this insight or understanding, they realize, they fully understand that between that which seemingly appears and the facts that which seemingly appears is truly empty of any inherent self-nature, there is no contradiction whatsoever anymore. In this way, they have become free, they have reached liberation. This is the kind of liberation that is being talked about here. All of these highest quality of liberation, of being free, they are all potentially present within ourselves. They have always been, we are simply unable to see them. Since beginningless time, we have made the mistake of viewing ourselves and the world, that mistake from beginningless time until the present day, to view the world and ourselves as, on the one hand, we, and on the other hand, everything else out there. We have always made that separation, that distinction. And because of this fundamental mistake that we have been making, we simply do not see these qualities which are present within ourselves, which are liberation in itself, by themselves. We simply have no idea how to even look at them. So in order to bring about the collapse of such dualistic views, we need to train ourselves. Now, for that reason, what we have to do is to go into the presence of what is called a spiritual friend, a teacher. We have to use a teacher who points out these various aspects to us, who actually tells us about this potential which is already present within ourselves, and then we have to actualize this potential within ourselves. One has to say that this which we call liberation, all the qualities which are being, which come along with having achieved such liberation, they don't have to be brought here from anywhere else. It is not as if we have to go and search for them somewhere else, as if we have to import them from somewhere else, and as if we have to exchange something that we have now with the qualities of such liberation. That is not the case. We could not even import such qualities because they are potentially already present within ourselves. Nevertheless, we simply just do not see this. In order to bring about such liberation, in order to free ourselves of the obscurations which veil our view upon these qualities, we have to use certain conditions. And such conditions, or one of these conditions, is that we put ourselves, that we go into the presence of a teacher, and that we, full of trust and confidence, follow a spiritual teacher. And this is exactly what is being described in the chapter which we're about to begin here in GAMPOPA'S JOOL Ornament of Liberation. Let it be said again, whatever qualities of liberation there are, whatever qualities for enlightenment or Buddhahood, or however you want to call it, there are, they do not have to be brought about or do not have to be looked for somewhere else. They are already potentially present within each and every one of us.
Then lamji kapsuti ana khande somoshin res lana maripa lega khande se ure se she yandu tona rangri yishe de karwe yuden tamjing jum di lamji lega shin je lamde tarchina onan jibu khande stoya gara tojen jibu de 강인 shana tadu tona yishe me chönam sasar kyabu som sene shi chusu lamji nyamsu lensu tadu tojen lamen tosu rima sumje sum.
So not recognizing the fact that we are already endowed with all of these qualities of liberation, we wander from lifetime to lifetime through the cycle of existence, rather sensibly for that matter. However, if we were to recognize this, and if we were to actualize this, then we would be instantly free. Now Milarepa, the great master of yogis, has described this in a few words. He has said, not recognizing what it is within our minds, not recognizing the potential of our minds, we simply not recognizing anything of this is ignorance. Coming to recognize that which is the potential of our minds, all the qualities of liberation and so forth which are present within our minds, this indeed is insight or liberation. Wisdom. But ultimately, looking at it, there is no such thing whatsoever. So in this way, Milarepa describes basically 3 points or 3 modes of being. The first one is the one which is the ordinary mode of being in which we all find ourselves presently. We see things, we perceive things, and we simply take them at face value. There is no volition of ours whatsoever to examine things and analyze them as to their true nature. The second is the opposite of this, which is having analyzed phenomena and appearances as to their true nature, whether or not there is any existence or not, and having truly realized how it truly is with all of that which we perceive. And then finally Milarepa says, but if one looks at it ultimately, from the ultimate viewpoints, then no such thing, no such insight or wisdom or confusion or whatever there might be is there in the first place. There is no such thing whatsoever.
시대 대라되네 가로 유행 당시 중. 다 어느 타도 가래. 어느 대라고 타도를 해서는 말. 타도 전화 이시 매 순말. 매 슬라이드 소소티오 남지 로이 인생기 두바인도 인생기 두에 아니 이시세 아주 여러 것은 이거 말해서 이시 매세 단에 대한 지당 돈을 시험배로 이시를 넘버는 봐. 이시 돈을 주는 점 어디 방배체로 자생각으로 쇼던데 라다와세 라다와 세서를 내가 조방 팀바 이야와 들을 다니냐는 소리가 들은 다도 정말 이시면 전화 세서 좀 송세야비 자생각 남 조생각 소를 된다는 인수들이 다도 못해 봐요.
디캅소 최선하다 이티 요르도 좀 최대이나 남이나 가르치
니가 유지고 많이 봐. 강이 무슨 지금 뭐당 요 강한 준비 그 대로 지나면 교원 시술대 오면 가서 이날에 자생각을 이날에 인진바 시행 인진바스는 잠발라 인진지 뭐당 이 강도 준비 유 니가 당시 좀 맞을배 이님의 최대라고. 그래서 이 인진시나 인진이 최다시 인생의 모든 시배 전업사서 주로 송. 양 인생시는 이메 주가 말해. 인생양식, 이메양식, 이게 달려내는 내수지요. 따뜻히 공배 양수 방하고 그냥 지금 당연히 내가 인도 시배도 말해. 이나 라인도 전업사서 좀 매, 조, 마주 사실 시행고. 이나 양 대라야 시배체도 시행하나 양 먼저 인도 근데 발생은 하나 동반이 소나가 소리가 그냥 답을 좀 찍습니다.
这是戒指，这是戒指。 So in order to explain the words of Milarepa, the first of Milarepa's sentences describes that state of delusion or the influence of delusion under which we find ourselves presently. This kind of delusion which makes us truly believe that there are we and there's all the rest of the world out there. This kind of dualism under which we have found ourselves since beginningless time. This is the kind of basic state from which we all start out, and it is the normal state within which all of us find ourselves presently. We uphold this idea of there having to be a self and of there having to be something else, and in this way we just continue with this dualism endlessly. However, if we were then to proceed to the second step, if we were to truly analyze or examine that which is the true nature of appearances, of phenomena, and of ourselves, of our own minds for that matter, we would come to see that there is no such thing. There is no such thing as any inherent existence to anything whatsoever, let alone is there anything that could be termed dualism. There is simply nothing of the sort whatsoever. So this is the kind of realization or understanding or insight that we come to in the second step, once we have endeavored to truly, under the instructions of the teachers, of our teachers as we receive them, which we bring about. Now, our present state is the normal, ordinary one that characterizes a being that has not yet met a spiritual teacher and has not yet received such liberating instructions from such a teacher. We have no reason whatsoever to question that which we perceive, and therefore we just go on happily ever after to believe what we choose to believe. Having then come into the presence of such a spiritual teacher, having received the instructions from a teacher and applying them by way of first listening to them, then reflecting about them, and simply then finally putting them into practice, training ourselves into them, then slowly such insight will gain ground within us, and we will come to question phenomena and appearances more thoroughly. We will then eventually come to an understanding of how things, how phenomena and appearances, including ourselves, truly are. Therefore, we have to absolutely proceed in such a way. Approach a teacher, request instructions, listen to them, reflect upon them, put them into practice, which will invariably then, if we do so in a proper way, lead to our understanding and gaining insight into how phenomena and appearances truly are. So, having then in this way come to the second step, we have brought a collapse to our erroneous belief of the truly existent nature of that which we perceive. Also, that perception of ours has fundamentally changed. However, if we then move on to the third word of Milarepa, where he says that that which we call wisdom or insight, primordial insight, does not exist in any way whatsoever. Now, what does that mean? This means to say that originally, from our present state, we have set out to bring about that which, from our present viewpoint, we call wisdom. We consider ourselves ignorant at the moment. We want to change that miserable state and change from ignorance to wisdom, and therefore we have this idea that there is a certain goal to be achieved, a certain goal to be realized. Now, once this has happened, what is it actually that we have done? Have we somehow evicted ignorance and invited wisdom in? Have we thrown out something and replaced it with something else? No, we have not. It is simply that our view, our understanding of all of that which we perceive, all of that which seemingly exists, has fundamentally changed. It has completely transformed itself. And then in the one moment where there was ignorance, then in the other moment there is what we call primordial insight or primordial wisdom or intelligence. However, once we have achieved that state, once we have reached such insight, we come to realize that that which formerly, from our deluded state of mind, we have deemed to be wisdom or insight, has no true existence unto itself either. So therefore, Milarepa says in his third sentence that that which is called wisdom or insight, primordial awareness and so forth, does not exist. We simply have understood that fact, and in this way, having understood how appearances and phenomena truly are, including our own minds, there is no such doubt in our mind anymore about their true nature. We have gone completely beyond all ideas and concepts. We have gone completely beyond all grasping, and all of that which seemingly makes up phenomena and appearances has been completely exhausted. This is a term that one also hears in the Mahamudra and Mahaati terminology, the exhaustion of phenomena, or the having gone completely beyond. So this is the kind of state which Milarepa then describes, having moved from initial ignorance to that which we call wisdom, which, looking at it from the ultimate point of view, has no existence either.
Okay. 된다고 탈와디 된다고 탈와디 토발 제발라 근데 다불을 손 다불을 무진디 흉은 나가 근데 주디시 닝고 땡미를 인신 쟁계의 신인 탑디 당마 그리고 조배 상대주고 근데 전에 떠보면 선생님 전에 지수기 그래서 뭐 주디 냥내디 근데 타버 주발라 타버 주는 게 강사라 그리고 제 견도 인송하래 그러나 Rinpoche Gyendi 수 제발 제바당 수 만나봐서야기 탑이 임바인도 대단다와 인디네 송배 좀 주디 냠불래나 그냥 타버도나 제발 제비 genza 임바 된다에게 쟁사 되라 때네 그냥 도전하면 인지우디 타버디 만나와 지신도 토버 내외에 있는 상황이도 그랬더니 Rinpoche gen다라고
그래서 이제 gen단 강사들 멘다바인데
简单的刚才的马上说的马上都来，
忘了这种
再不了，马再不有人再不写他，我这种，他说托巴拉，他说托巴这个拉，刚才听到的没有介绍，这些个南京这些个那个学堂经常有说。
So if one were to bring about this kind of liberation, if one were to move from ignorance to wisdom in such a way and bring about complete liberation, then one would have to familiarize oneself with the 6 points that the great incomparable Gampopa has set down in his text here, the JOOL ornament of liberation. And these 6 points or chapters introduce us gradually to that which is true and real, and are therefore called an ornament. The first of these, the initial one of these, is the fact that the potential for such liberation, the potential Buddhahood, the simple possibility of achieving this lofty goal is indeed truly present within ourselves. The second point that one has to know, or the second chapter of GAMPOPA'S, deals with the basis that we need to have, that we need to be in the possession of in order to actualize this potential. And this basis is being described as the precious human existence, with everything that it takes to bring it about, and all the various points. Then we need to meet with a condition in order to actualize this potential of ours. And this condition is the teacher, the spiritual friends, the master from whom we receive instructions, liberating instructions and teachings and so forth, who tells us how we go about to actualize this potential within ourselves. This in itself then is then the cause for the actual fruition of this. Hang on, teacher. Once we have met with this teacher, then of course we also need to request instructions from him. Instructions, teachings, which are the fourth point that one needs to know, that one needs to familiarize oneself. Having simply met a teacher is in itself not sufficient. We need to request teachings and instructions from him or her, for that matter, and then put them into practice. And as a result of this, then the fifth point comes forth that which we call the fruition, the actual achievement of complete liberation, of complete freedom. And finally then, as the sixth and final point, there is the explanation about that which is called spontaneous Buddha activity, activity of enlightened beings which is free of any plans, of any ideas, but which is being brought forth spontaneously in the most appropriate manner for whatever purpose at hand. So these 6 points, knowing them, having understood them, they are said to be like an ornament. Someone who strives for liberation, someone who strives for the complete liberation of Buddhahood, has to know these 6 points. They are utterly, completely indispensable. There are all kinds of ornaments one could put onto oneself to beautify oneself. But if one were to strive for the insight of how things truly are, if one were to strive for such liberation, then these 6 points would be the ultimate, the highest ornament that one could possibly put on. So this would be, this is utterly indispensable. Therefore, these are the 6 points we need to familiarize ourselves with. Now this may serve as a short introduction into what the JOOL element of liberation by GAMPOPA is all about. And tomorrow we will then proceed with the text proper.